Thank you all so much for coming to the end of the year event with the Newkirk Center for Science and Society. We are excited to share with you our experience doing community-based research supporting Madison Park Neighborhood Association, a community organization in Santa Ana. My name is Brenna Biggs. I use she, her pronouns. I am a fifth-year PhD candidate in the Department of Chemistry at UC Irvine and a Newkirk Fellow for the 2019 to 2020 academic year.
Hi, my name is Biblia Cha. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a public health PhD candidate beginning my fifth year and also a Newkirk Fellow.
Greetings. My name is Jose Rea. I'm the Executive Director for MPNA Green and the Treasurer for MPNA.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leonel Flores, and I am the Community Organizer for MPNA Green.
Lastly, Desiree Greenhouse was also a Newkirk Fellow with Biblia and myself. She graduated with a master's in public policy earlier this year.
So we worked with the Madison Park Neighborhood Association, known as MPNA, and the associated nonprofit MPNA Green, which stands for Getting Residents Engaged in Exercise and Nutrition. MPNA works primarily in the city of Santa Ana, California, and the vision of MPNA Green is working to improve the quality of life for all residents in the Madison Park neighborhood and surrounding Southeast Santa Ana. Brenna, myself, and Desiree worked on two projects over the course of the fellowship: a grant funded by the California Air Resources Board, or CARB, and facilitation of the MPNA UCI Collaborative. First, we will introduce the California Air Resources Board grant, or CARB grant. So MPNA received funding from CARB on a local environmental justice project to implement Assembly Bill 617, which focuses on improving air quality in California communities that are disproportionately affected by air pollution. Through the grant, MPNA is developing a community air monitoring program to better understand their air and to prevent pollution in Santa Ana. And they hope to prevent the negative health and environmental consequences of poor air quality by impacting policy. My program in public health is about preventing and addressing factors that influence community health, all the way from individual perceptions and behaviors to broader policy and community efforts. And these motivations dovetail with MPNA's efforts to address the upstream factors producing poor air quality and negatively impacting the lives of Santa Ana residents.
Designing and executing a community air monitoring project, as well as filling out subsequent reports to the California Air Resources Board, was quite an exciting undertaking as a trained air chemist. The chance to make a positive impact in a local community made it a perfect match.
So we documented how MPNA Green met the project objectives and how they adapted to changing situations, especially those related to COVID-19. The three primary aspects of the project reflected in the reports included the training, advocacy, and capacity building activities of the steering committees, the development of the Community Air Quality Monitoring Project, and the MPNA UCI Collaborative, which brings together community members from MPNA and academic partners at UC Irvine interested in supporting community-based research and local advocacy efforts. So we met regularly with Jose, Leonel, and other MPNA staff to support their implementation and reporting processes for their CARB grant. MPNA has accomplished great things, including advocacy for environmental justice, education about air quality, and collaboration with external academic partners. For this part of our fellowship, we gathered information and provided support for 4 iterations of the CARB report over a year-long period. And MPNA will continue to work with their steering committees and other partners to develop and implement a community air quality monitoring plan. A handful of residents will also receive air monitors, and MPNA will purchase additional ones to set up around the city. They are also involved with many academic partners at UC Irvine, which we'll talk more about now.
As part of their CARB grant, MPNA began collaborating with academic partners at UC Irvine listed here. This partnership is known as the MPNA UCI Collaborative. Projects include measuring air quality and health effects, advocacy and education, better identifying pollution sources, and tracking pediatric health. As a graduate student in chemistry, I've had the chance to collaborate with many different groups for various projects over my academic career. This is a great time to rekindle those organizational and facilitation skills.
As a public health graduate student, the collaborative highlighted just how different kinds of disciplines and academic and community partners can provide complementary perspectives and skills to tackle a shared public health concern.
As we started the fellowship, the collaborative's need for consistent facilitation and more frequent communication within the group became clear. The fellows have been part of 4 MPNA UCI collaborative meetings throughout the year. We became administrators by planning the meetings, creating agendas, and facilitating the meetings themselves. Facilitation included detailed note-taking, sharing helpful team science tips, enforcing the agenda, and supporting discussions between collaborators. The fellows also created a newsletter after each meeting to inform partners about updates, grant opportunities, and deadlines. An example of the first page of the newsletter is shown here. The collaborative recently advocated on behalf of MPNA by submitting public comments to the City of Santa Ana asking them to delay their general plan, which did not adequately or concretely address environmental justice issues. The collaborative will continue to support MPNA in these endeavors, as well as through their various projects supporting resident health and air quality. Oftentimes, atmospheric chemistry research feels extractive. Collect the samples, analyze the samples, and then disappear. However, this space feels like I'm truly including and engaging with the community, and it's been wonderful. I saw firsthand that community experiences are just as valuable as having academic expertise. I now use many of the ideas I have learned from them in my own research. How can I include other voices in this idea? Should these results be translated? How can I get more people involved, etc.? I'm forever grateful to have worked with MPNA and the Newkirk Center.
And for me, the fellowship highlighted yet another way that community-based research can be used to address issues and policies that impact health, especially the health of underserved communities, and to highlight these voices in decision-making processes. Working alongside MPNA provided the opportunity to bring public health skills, perspectives, and technical support to complement their grassroots work and the community skills and experiences. Going forward, I'm looking forward to applying what I learned about reciprocity, accountability, and how to navigate the different stages of partnerships in my future work.
Engaging with the campus and community-based research is relevant to MPNA related to the CARB project because it would be a huge challenge for a small group of residents to do analysis, write reports, and meet deadlines. Where Leo and myself live, as college-educated individuals, we are a minuscule part of the population. It is hard to find people who have the writing and analytical skills to meet grant requirements and deadlines. The MPNA part-time staff is overstretched, so it is great to have someone with the fellows training to complement what needs to be done.
I believe engaging with the campus and community-based research is relevant and crucial to MPNA because it expands the strength of the MPNA team and creates a broader network for us to expand our work and community efforts. Since we are a small community-run nonprofit, the expertise and research of the Newkirk Center and the fellows allows our staff to spend their time on the ground running programs and building relations with our community members. Their help provides us an important boost that increases our capacity as an organization.
In a broader sense, one of the most significant things MPNA has benefited from working with the fellows in Newkirk has been seeing how true partnership is possible. I know the UCI community has a mandate to be inclusive and serve all, but in my experience with the university, both as a student and having worked there for nearly 30 years, there are times when partnership is only on paper, and a project that is supposed to serve the community does not reflect true service, continuity, or reciprocity. The collaboration with Newkirk is a hands-on true partnership. The fellows value MPNA initiatives and efforts, and at the same time, we support and recognize their contributions. It is a more equitable exchange, which to us is very rare, to be honest with you. More specifically, this was our second year working with Newkirk, and while the fellows built on what was done the first year with the CARB project, they also worked on the collaborative quarterly meetings, agendas, follow-up, and newsletter. These additions went beyond what we had initially anticipated and enriched and enhanced their contributions. By taking a look at the newsletter, it is awesome to see the richness of community and academic partners.
What I learned through this initiative is that despite the specific intended roles for each fellow, they unexpectedly became leaders and members of our community. The role of each fellow willingly expanded beyond their technical expertise, and they became a bigger member of our project. Community members have become more familiar with the fellows, and I hope the fellows have built rewarding connections with the community.
As we move forward towards this next year, some areas that we are looking at are funding, leadership development, and community engagement. First, MPNA is looking to continue developing our capacity as a small grassroots nonprofit by fundraising and looking for additional funding sources. Secondly, we have the potential to continue developing the leadership within MPNA, such as having Qual steering committee members join the MPNA advisory board. We want more informed and engaged leaders in the community. One thing we learned in Qual is that the high school students are voicing their opinions and want to make a positive change in their communities. It is encouraging to see the development of the seeds that we have planted in 2017. We also want to continue community engagement and continue programs, analyzing and presenting data we have collected to local audiences such as the City Council and the school board. Finally, we will be exploring more collaborations while staying true to the mission and vision of the organization. We have a lot of work to do, but the infrastructure and capacity have been built with the help of the fellows, which makes our next steps more strategic and sustainable.
The next step for our air monitoring project with Comunidad Unida Aire Limpio, also known as Qual, is to set up our air monitoring network and create a beautiful presentation that the committee can show off to the city, to the community, and to their families. I hope the product produced through this project is empowering to the Qual committee members, and I hope it creates leaders in our community who will give back. For MPNA, I'd like to see the organization grow and the program strengthen. Hopefully 2021 is a better year for everyone and allows us more opportunities to expand our impact within our community. We must continue to improve our programming and continue offering the community our best. I also want the fellows to be rewarded through this experience so that when they leave MPNA and graduate, they go back to their communities with a desire to give back and be a positive force wherever life takes them.
Thank you again for being here and for listening to our presentation. We would be happy to answer any questions you may have.